Welcome to our class. Today we will learn Docker network. There are two topics, Docker network concept and demo. First topic, Docker network concept. Docker default network is Docker 0. When Docker is installed, a default bridge network named Docker 0 is created. Each new Docker container is automatically attached to this network, unless a customer network is specified. Beside Docker 0, two other networks get created automatically by Docker. Host. Now, the most common network types being bridge, host, overlay, macvlan. Now, bridge. Bridge networking is the most common network type. It is limited to container within a single host running the Docker engine. Bridge networks are easy to create, manage, and troubleshoot. For the container on the bridge network to communicate from outside the world, port mapping needs to be configured. This is a Docker network diagram. Let's go through the diagram from bottom to top. External network is a physical network. ETH0 is a Docker 0. It's a gateway of a Docker network and open port 8000. My bridge has two containers, DB container and a web container. The containers are able to talk each other via IP or hostname. Web container listener port is 5000 and map to Docker 0 port 8000. If the network traffic coming, will be go to the Docker 0 first, use 8000 port. Docker will be routing the traffic to my bridge. My bridge will be forward the traffic to my web container on port 5000. That is how my bridge works. Host. No isolation between host and containers on this network. No isolation between host and containers on this network. To the outside world, they are on same network. Overlay. An overlay network uses software virtualization to create the additional layer of the network running on top of physical network. In Docker, an overlay network driver is used to multi-host network communication. Docker Swarm make use the overlay network for internal host communication. Kubernetes approach networking in different way as compared to Docker, using native concept like service and pods. macvlan. The macvlan driver used to connect the Docker container directly to the host network interface through layer 2 segmentation. No use port mapping or network address translation. NAT is needed. Container can be assigned a public IP address with it's accessible from outside the world. Latency in macvlan network is low, since the packages are routed directly from Docker host network interface controller to the container. Now, attached container run on the container specified network. Second topic, demo. I'll go to default bridge first, Docker 0. Docker network LS shows existing Docker network in your system. As I mentioned before, there are 3 networks automatically created by Docker engine. There are a lot of ls commands in Docker client: Docker image ls, Docker container ls, Docker volume ls. The pattern is Docker plus container name plus ls. Docker network inspect with network name can get more bridge detail. The subnet information. Gateway is Docker 0. Let me open a subnet mask calculator. The subnet is a class B type. There's a start IP address and end IP address. A lot of IP address can be used in one bridge. Containers are able to ping each other by IP in default bridge, but cannot ping by hostname. Do a testing. Alpha is a small Linux image. Run Docker container in a background. Basic image is the latest Alpine. The container name is Alpine1. The image cannot find in the local, so Docker engine find and download the Alpine image from Docker Hub. Start the second container. Use the same basic image, but name difference. Go to first container. Go to second container. Host name. Get the host name. Add network 2 as IP config. For Alpine, can use apk add package name to add command. Alpine1 IP address is 172.7.0.2. Alpine2 container IP address is 0.3. Pin host. Container Alpine1 can pin themselves, use IP address and host. In Alpine1, pin Alpine2, use hostname. Cannot pin. How about use IP to pin Alpine2? IP is fine. In Alpine2, we are able to pin Alpine1 IP address, no issue. Try pin Alpine1 hostname. Cannot pin. Let's see host file. The host file only has IP address mapping to the hostname themselves. There is no other additional information. Check naming server setup. The name server, the IP is my wireless router. The router doesn't have any container information. That's the reason we cannot use the hostname pin each other. Stop container. Next, create a customer network. The type is bridge. The command is docker network created --- driver plus network type and network name. The name is Alpine Miner Net. Go to the network detail. IP address is different, but this is still a B-type address. Same capacity as the default network bridge. No container, there is no container add. To use the customer network, only need add miner network in docker run command. The name as before. That is only new things. The new parameter, miner network. Specified network name. Run docker network inspect again. Previous containers empty. Now we can see there's two containers, Alpine 1 and Alpine 2. IP address in there. Touch going to containers. What difference between Docker touch and Docker ESEC? Docker touch is a sub command under the container. Docker ESEC is a first level command. Touch go into the container as a thread 0. If you exit container, the container stop. Pin host name. Let pin second container host name. Try IP. After we use the customer bridge network, two containers are able to pin each other with IP or host name. Check host file. Same as before, only IP mapping to host name. Check name service. There is a difference. Previous, the IP is my wireless router. Now it's the Docker embedded name server, 127.0.0.11. How to remove a container from a network? Docker network disconnect, network name, and container name. Check network detail. Containers are empty. We use a touch to go Docker inside. After we log out the container was stopped. The latest command for today's class, delete a network. Docker network rm, network name. There are only default 3 networks. Thank you for watching. See you in the next class.